Hello, my name is Victor Frankenstein, and I'm here today with a video to showcase and also help with a tutorial of the FoundryVTT system as well as Pokemon 5e. Now, my version of Foundry might be slightly different to yours because I am using the 0.6.6 version, which is not the most up-to-date version as that is 0.7.5. That shouldn't matter though, it should all work. So first you want to make sure that you've got the D&D 5e 5th edition system installed first. It's this one. All you have to do is click this button and look for the one which is D&D 5e. Mine wouldn't appear on there because I've already got it installed. Once that is done, you simply click the next tab, which is the add-on modules. I have quite a few. You probably won't need all these right away. The only ones you will need are the Pokemon 5e modules. All you have to do is click the install module here, and when you go to the link that is in the Pokemon 5e Discord, you'll be able to find the first module, which is Pokemon 5e Foundry module, which adds the Pokemon moves and abilities. And the second module, which is the Pokemon 5e items module from Major Victory. The first one is made by Jerrican. Major Victory also created a module which I quite like. It is the Retro UI Pokemon 5e. That one you can install through this install module tab. The other ones you can't due to copyright, is my assumption. Now, that module is not required, but I do recommend it, honestly. The third one, that is. Okay, so the next step is to create your world. This is relatively simple, and I've created this one. So you just click Launch World, and you should, once it's loaded, it should appear with this grey screen. Now on the right you've got the tabs, which we will delve into in a moment, and on the left down here you've got the players, which when you click this it will list every single player that you have added to your Foundry game, and this hotbar down here. Now the hotbar is mostly useful for players as it is kind of clunky to use as a GM. It's usable by all means, but considering you have most likely anywhere between 2 to 10 maybe more tokens on the actual game at one time, it will be much more clunky and difficult to use as you'd have to keep swapping them in and out. You can use this button to switch between hotbars, but then you have to remember which hotbar is which. Okay, so the first step before we do anything else is we want to install the modules. You click over here in Game Settings, and then you want to go to Manage Modules. Now I have quite a few on here. You don't need these. You can simply type in what you need, which is Pokemon 5e and Pokemon 5e items. I'm going to install the Retro UI as well. You click these little boxes and then save module settings, and voila, it will appear like this. So next we will start with, and this will mostly be for GMs to run Pokemon 5e, but I will also show you how to use it as a player. So as a GM, you've got the game pause button here. You simply hit the space bar and it will unpause the game. Relatively simple. Now on here you have the chat box. Now if I put a message in there, it will appear like that. And you can remove any message that is sent by simply hitting the bin. And if you want to delete all messages, you just hit that one. And you can also export the chat log just for safekeeping, in case there's some little things that you want to keep, like important notes. Down here we have a tab which is for the rolling. Now, depending on what kind of GM you are, if you like rolling openly to intimidate your players, you perhaps want to use the public role, where you simply type in the code and it will appear publicly like that. If you want to scare them without them seeing what you're doing, you simply go on private GM role. Now this will still play, I've actually turned off the music, but this will still play the sound for rolling. But when you type in 1d20 there, you get this box around the middle which shows that it's actually hidden. Only you can see this, or other people with the GM tab. Now, clicking these little tabs tells you what the roll itself was, what modifiers came in to make this number here appear, and you can right click if it's a private message and reveal to everyone. You simply can't do it with a non-private message. Okay, so one thing that Foundry has that is very nice and very, very good to use is the fact that each one of these tabs, excluding the chat log, can be popped out. Now, what I mean by that is you simply right click, see this is the combat tracker, and it will appear here. So if you want to add a new encounter, oh, it's probably because I've got no map. You simply hit that button and it will appear there. I will go back into that in a moment. Next we'll look at the scenes directory. Now this is only for the GMs. The players have the first two, but they don't have this one. In this one, you can create a scene or a folder. The folder is just for keeping track of what areas go where, whereas the scene is the actual map, because everything in Foundry is a stage. So, you create a scene, give it a name. I'm just going to be really boring and say blank, and I'm not going to add an image path. So, if you use a custom image, which I do not have one that's readily available, although I might. Oh no, I think I might. Let's have a look, see what we've got. There we go, we'll use this one, the Riverton Village. Now this is a pre-made map, and I do not have on hand the number of pixels that the map is, but you can set it so that it is specific to the amount that this map falls under. So if it was 2000 by 2000, it will create the map with those dimensions. Then you scroll down here, the grid size. This is really depending on you. So if you've got a certain grid size, you can change it to 70 or here, and it will just change whatever one you use. You can also map out the way the squares look if you've already installed the map, and change it with the Alt mouse wheel or Alt up and Alt down buttons to edit the grid size, and then you just commit the changes. Lighting and vision works pretty much like it does normally. Token vision means that every character is limited to what their token can see, and it is only that they're limited to. Global illumination means that anywhere in the scene is open except for through walls. So if the token is in an open area, it can see it all. But if it can't, if it's in a walled area, it will only see those areas with the wall. And fog, I'll explain that one when we add an actor to the scene. And then you've got the darkness level. This is how you simulate the dark and all that. If you want pitch black, you go all the way up to 1. If you want just general darkness, go to 0.7. Ambience and atmosphere is when you install music files. You can just start playing. You can play them on the activation of the scene. And then accessibility is who can see it up here. So we'll hit save changes, scroll out a bit. Now, it's a very big area, but I don't think it's saved the image that I chose. Let's go with a different one. Let's go with Farm Crossroads. Oh, where are we? There we go. So this is just a map made in Dungeon Draft, and it is more designed to show you how the map works. So this is the area that the players can see. They can see everywhere outside of the area as well. Up to, and I believe it is limited. So if I increase this to, oh, not the background color, that's the wrong one. If I increase that to there, that's my fault. There we go. So that limits it to that area. Now it's gone black because that's the area around it. If I set that to white, as that will appear better. So the only area that the players can see is within this walled area. And that is because that is the way that the map size has cut it. But then you have this extra space on the outside. This is just for you as the GM to be able to move stuff in and out of the scene without really just deleting it and re-dragging it in. So you can just slide it off to the side. So now that we've got a scene, it is more noticeable that you now have this bar on the left. The first one is for the basic controls. Now you've got your select token where you can click and drag. Select targets, which selects and drags as well, but also would target the tokens. So if you have a damage modifier, that affects multiple people, you can highlight with that, then roll it. And it will do the damage through that. And then you have the measure distance, which works like normal. Now there is something with the measure distance that I wish to show you, so I'll just quickly create a blank actor. And I forgot I have to name him. Call him Blanky. So if I drag him into the scene like this, I'll unpause the game. And with the distance, I can hold control. Now, this is perfect for showing the way that light works. Because there is no walls around this, you can see the outside. And this token only has dim vision. Let's give it light vision. And so all it can see is that. Now, with the measure distance controls, I can hold control and drag out, and it will pull out a line. Now you don't have to hold control, but you need it for this next bit. Now if I left click, I can then do a right turn or can shift about, and it will keep that point there. So let's say this guy wants to come out and go to his kitchen. Now I've mapped out the entire path there, not the cleanest of paths, and is much more like an NPC. But now if I hit the spacebar, it will move the token for me. And and it will move it along that path that I've drew out, which is what the holding the control button does. Then you have the measurement controls here, which is slightly different. Now, instead of being able to move your tokens, this allows you to draw out distance. So if you've got a 20-foot sphere, there you go, and it will map that out. A 35-foot cone, like that. Or a box area. And also a line. Now, you can easily delete these by holding, hovering over the actual image which it displays, and simply pressing delete. Or if you're the GM, you can clear templates, and it will clear every measured template from the scene. So be careful with that one. So this next button is the tile controls. You can install any icon, like you can see some of my Pokemon ones here. Oh, that was the wrong button. And then you can hover over it and drag it in. And it will appear as an image. To resize, all you have to do is click the little orange button there and delete. That is to place the tile, but also the tile browser allows you to search through them. Then you have the drawing tools. This pretty much works as it does in other systems, where you just draw the squares that you want, resize as you will. Circles, lines. If you right click, it will delete the line rather than you having to go ahead and do it again. So if I go like this and, oh no, I've done it wrong, I can right click and it will take me back to my last point. Right clicking when you've only got one point and it will delete it entirely. You've got the squiggly line, which does a squiggly line. The draw text button, which is just for writing out text, and the settings. This is where you can change everything to fit what you need. For example, the lines, how big they are, the colour, the strength they come through, how smooth they are, filling in boxes, as well as editing text. Now, when you also do the new text, you can also, or an item like that, you can also double click on the circle and it will bring up the drawing configuration, which allows you to change that specific drawing. And then once again, clear drawings clears the scene. Now this one is the DM's favorite tool because it allows you to edit and edit and draw all your walls out for the scene. Now if I draw, like most walls by default are completely blocked, so if I draw a line there, now I can draw a separate one, or I can click this circle and hold control and it will allow me to keep drawing outlines like this, and it snaps to the nearest point to where you have established it. Now that's not the clearest, but as you can see, I've just drawn a wall over a door. Now if I double click this, it allows me to edit that specific wall. If I click is a door, it does that. And the wall direction is both. Perception restriction. Now if you wish to create a window, you can say it's not a door, the movement restrictions are normal, but the perception restriction is limited. That will allow the players to be able to see through the door line without being able to interact with it. So if I update that wall, it will appear like that. If I make it a see-through door, it'll appear green instead of purple. And if I stop it being a door entirely, but just make it a window, it will also appear green. So green is for windows, purple is for doors. Now if I click the token, you can see the map area where the walls are, it blocks it off. And that is the effects of the dynamic lighting. There are a lot more different types of settings. I won't go through them all now, but I'll let you explore at your own leisure with it. As we then have lighting controls. Now this is relatively simple. To draw a light source, you just click and drag. And this will be your dim area, your bright area, sorry, and this is your dim. Now if you want to change that... Oh, I got that wrong. No, I got that right. There we go. So it's a 30-foot light source, so you want 30 and then 30. And now the entire room will illuminate by that. Or anywhere that there's not a wall blocking the path. But you can also change the colour. So if I wanted a blue light source, it will change it to a nice sensual blue. But I can also say the darkness threshold, which is really nice because whenever the scene transitions to darkness, the lights will come on. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I click this button, which turns it all to daylight, you can see the entire room is lit up, even outside. But I go back into the settings, transition darkness, and slowly but surely, the darkness slowly creeps in. And as soon as it's hit that right threshold, which is, I normally put it as 0.7, the light comes on. Which is a really amazing, really nice trick from the designers of FoundryVTT. So, when you have more than one scene, it's not gonna, oh, it did allow it. You can swap between them simply by clicking, but the players can't. And whichever one you are, whichever you've named yourself, you will appear with this little icon underneath. Your players have their own individual ones as well. And so if they are on a different scene, then your activated scene, which is displayed by the orange arrow, you'll be able to work on another scene while they're still on that one, allowing complete control and them not to know what you're secretly up to. But if you want to load the scene, you just right click it and activate. And for us, it's instant because we're the DM. For the players, they transition over slowly. Now, if my understanding is correct, as a player, the only ones you will have is the movement controls, the measurement controls, and a couple others, but you do not have the drawing and the drawing tools. You don't have the wall controls or the lighting. But this makes me think makes me realise I missed one. So you can draw an ambient sound. That means in that area the players will hear this sound being played, and you simply just install the sound and it will work like that. I don't have any sound files, otherwise I would do it. So next we will move back to Blanky. Now this is the way your sheet will appear. So this is the base default sheet. Still very nice. Bit clunky. I do recommend getting the Tidy Sheets 5e because it is very, very nice sheet UI. And it also works with this UI itself because it was created by Major Victory. So this is mostly like when you're setting up a regular character sheet. You have your attributes with like your strength, dex, con, all that. Inventory, which is all your items. Features, now this is where most of your items go. Spellbook, which you don't overly need for the Pokemon 5e. And biography, which is for where you put in all the bits that make your character your character. So we'll go on to attributes. To change anything in this, you simply click and just edit. So Blanky has a strength of 14, which automatically tracks your saving throw and your ability score. But say that Blanky has not advantage, it is proficiency. You simply click the little circle underneath and it will change colour. And that is what it appears to show that you have proficiency. The skills work similar. You click the blank circle is not proficient. Click it once, you're proficient. Click it twice, you're half proficient. 3 times, you're a lady. I mean, you are having expertise. That was a stupid joke. Then we'll move on to features. Now, race and background you put in yourselves, as well as alignment and pictures. GM has to put in the pictures unless you are given the edited setting to add your own. Movement speed is the same, but features. So this is where we will go back to this, and I will give you a quick rundown of each one of these. So as a player, you should have the chat log, combat tracker, and the actors directory. You won't have the scenes directory because that's for the GMs. After that, you have the items directory, which is where the GM can create personal items for the game. Journal entries, which is, I believe players can make their own journal entries, but it is just for taking notes in the game. As you see there, if you right click, you can delete, duplicate, or edit who can change it. Now, because I'm the only player in here, it's only showing all players. Then you have the tables, which is mostly for the GM. I don't think I've ever used it as a player. Global volume controls. This is where you can, as the GM, you can add playlists and also change the volume of each different one. So the playlist, the ambient noise, the interface. Whereas as the player, you can simply control your own personal volume, which I find very nice and very useful. And then you have the compendium packs. Now, this seems like a monster when you first look at it. It's not, trust me. The only ones you want is in the Actor tab, you want Pokemon. In Item, you want everything beginning with Pokemon. And the rest, well, the rest is different. You don't really need those unless you're the GM, in which I will let you experiment with those. So if you're the GM, you would have your list of Pokemon. Now, because of the Pokemon 5e module, everything is already installed in a nice, neat little package. And so to add a Pokemon, all you do is you go to the Actors directory, you find a Pokemon you like. My one will be Gible, as that's my favourite. Click and drag. And it will input everything for the character sheet already created. Now, inventory, they're mostly blank. But features, this is where it gets interesting. So I will use this instead of the base character sheet, as Pokemon are the ones that you're going to be leveling more often anyway. In features, you have class levels, active abilities, and passive abilities. Now, passive abilities will be where your Pokemon's abilities are. For example, Gible has Sandveil and Rough Skin, but he only gets one because he's level 1. What do? I delete the one that I don't want. And it's just as simple as clicking the little bin icon. But when Gible has earned enough experience, he levels up. So I simply go into the class levels, edit the item, and where it says class levels 1, change it to a 2. That will then appear up here that he is level 2. It will edit your experience. There is a module on the Pokemon 5e Discord, which allows you to change this so it's more in line with the PDFs. It's a simple click and drag of an item, and then you can just edit its experience. So Gible taking the average with a +1, it would gain average of a d6 is 4, so that would be 21. It would have 22 experience. So I delete that, just change it to 22. Now the max I changed to 22, but the max gets affected by other different things as well. So if I go back into the compendiums, because Gible has several other things, it's technically not my starter, but it's the starter for this example. I'm going to click Pokemon Loyalties. Now Loyalty 1 is content, and it's pretty much you just click and drag from the compendiums. It's that simple. But the one main difference is that when you get to, I believe it's pleased and disloyal, loyal, sorry, they gain an extra amount of hit points. So I'm going to use loyal just for an example. I drag in loyal. For some reason it's not wanting to work right now, which should add it 32 hit points. So I'll go in and I'll change those too. And that should have worked. But yes, normally it will track the max hit points additionally, so you don't have to worry about that one. You only have to worry about this one, which is the current HP. But it doesn't want to work for me because it wants to make my video look bad. Okay, so then you have moves. Simple. Just go in, and I'll just go Dragon Rage. Simply click and drag, and it just drags it in. But say your Pokemon reaches, I don't know, level 5. It's already increased its ability stats, but at level 5, the Pokemon's move changes to a couple different dice. So you simply click Edit, you go onto Details, and it will appear with this. Now it looks like a wall of text. It's not. It's relatively simple because all you need is this bit down here where it's got the damage formula. You do 3d8 instead of 2d10, and it will change it, simple as that. It appears with the new rolls. It will save it automatically, and all I have to do is, and I will even show you how to use the move, which it doesn't seem to. So yes, all you have to do is click that button there, use ability, and it will automatically roll. This was not the best one to do it, so clicking this will drop down the information if it doesn't already, and then you simply do the damage, which it wouldn't be a critical hit unless they're down, so it's normal damage, and it will put out the damage modifier like that. And if you're not the GM, this should be revealed to everyone, and so you, while clicking your token, can do the saving throw DC, and I'm automatically rolling private, but you can click that, click your token, then click that, and it will pop up with this and immediately roll it. So you don't have to go into your sheet and click it. You just simply click your character, click the button. Another example of an attack would be tackle, and it seems to be using it differently. So you simply click the buttons and it will roll it out. Like that. Simple as. Okay, so we will go back to Blanky now. With this class levels in the way that it is, it's a bit clunky to get everything working. So for neatness, always drag in one of these with the colon at the end. You got the base Pokemon trainer, which you can then drag in, and it's smooth and simple like that. But then you can also drag in the subclass that you want. For example, Blanky to me seems more like a grunt, and it just appears there. Now all this does is just tells you what level you are and changes your level 1. It changes you from level 0 to level 1 Pokemon Trainer Grunt. It will also drop down to show everything your class gets, which is really nice. As well as the subclass features, where you can click this and it will appear there. Simply clicking that button there adds it to the items, which you can then click and drag into there. And to edit its level, simple as was before, you just go in, change its level like that, and it appears with level 2. So that's the Pokemon classes. Specializations work the same, though they require a bit more of a hands-on approach. Blanky is a Mystic Grunt, and so he gains a proficiency in Arcana, which you just go in, add the proficiency. Then you have all the other items. So Pokemon items, you just click and drag, like a camping kettle, and it will immediately put it into your area like this. To roll with it, which for this you just share it out, you just hit the little dice icon. Then you have abilities. Now this is something I didn't put on Gible. If you've deleted the ability but you wanted the hidden ability later on because you take the feat, you just simply type it into abilities, click it and drag it in. But then you've also got natures, and I would say that my Gible is rather arrogant. Now the names are a bit off, but you simply drag it in, and it normally, I don't know if that actually did change it. Let's just, I don't think it did. Yes, so normally it would automatically change it for the features, but simply all you have to do is drag it in, then change the abilities like so. And it works just like that. Stab is you just increase the numbers as your Pokemon gains the levels to be able to do it. And that's all there is to it with the Pokemon. If you wish to add moves, you simply search them up, drag them in, edit them to how you need them. Pokemon items, we've gone through that. Pokeballs. Now, Pokeballs is purely for your character. Now, you can add two different ones. You can, well, there's a lot more different Pokeballs, but two different items from this. You've got the catch attempt DC and the Pokeball itself. To add more Pokeballs, you simply edit it, and where it says quantity, just change the number to how many you have. No real reason to go into any of this. With catch attempt DC, you simply roll the dice, and it will attempt to roll what everything the modifiers are. But the thing is, you can also do that with the Pokeball itself. Like that. Blanky doesn't have any wisdom or animal handling, so it doesn't use any of those. And the rest is simple, or simply just click and drag it in. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Oh, to add items like languages, this will only have the base game D&D 5e, but all you have to do is you type in down here common, then split it with a semicolon, and it will add it like so. Really, really easy, really simple. Yeah. So, please tell me how I did. If you think I did well, let me know. It's my first attempt at a video of this. I might go back and redo it. Who knows? But thank you for watching, and I do hope that it helped.